is Ramon, Part 2. Number 267. How to build a two-step staircase starting on a filled floor and ending on a terrace. Video created and owned by Ramon Garda y Pera, first official traditional builder. Technician, member of the National Network of Traditional Construction Masters, year 2025, Part 2, video number 267 of my construction video collection 08328 Alela, Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. Step by step. Okay, I'm already preparing the ruler to make the fourth and final row of this first step and placing the ruler well. Now with the wedges I will place them at the height of the guide that I have at the ends or tips. With the wedges, the ruler can be adjusted very well, raising or lowering it as needed. To do this, you have to level it, well, flush on top, as I'm doing with my hand and checking it, and now to put it on the other end, but always making sure that it fits the guide I have. Then I'll put a stopper on it so that the ruler can't move, and now to put the corresponding pieces on. The pieces are now prepared, and what does have to be kept wet, of course. These don't absorb as much water, but they do have to be wet so that they have a better grip. I already have the mortar prepared. Now I'm adjusting it well for the alignment. And as you said, now I'm putting a brick here so that the ruler can't come loose or separate. In any case, I'm going to be careful so that the moment doesn't come. I'm placing some of these, that is, I take the mortar with the trowel because it fits better since the piece is narrow. That way the paste is well distributed. And what you have to make sure is that it doesn't touch the ruler, and when you place the piece, you do it from top to bottom touching the ruler, because if you don't, you get paste between the ruler and the tile, and then it's separated like this by moving it from top to bottom, the joint with the piece that's placed. Making sure that it's flush at the top, because it's already planned for the heights to be able to reach the end well. It's already distributed. So, placing it well, always checking that the mortar is in good condition. Also in the drawer that the mortar is not spread out. Now I'm going to do the same. Now I'll go about halfway, and then I'll start on the other side and close in the center with the corresponding piece. Notice that I'm with my hand passing between the ruler and what is the ceramic piece that I've placed. I've finished the piece, and now it's a matter of taking out the ruler and cleaning. That is, scraping off the mortar. Now to remove the touches from the sides and make sure that everything is clean. You always have to make sure it's clean when working to remove the mortar that's on the floor. The first row that was put down is a little dry, but then I clean it to go over everything. That's why it looks a little whiter. When I use the right-hand trowel, it shows me the alignment of the pieces. If any come out, I can put them in. It's also important to press the mortar down a little with the trowel and make sure everything is clean. Now I'm going to clean it with a rag and empty the joint. To empty the joint, you'll see that I've prepared a tool. It's an adjustable tool for scraping or emptying cement mortar joints. It's a piece made with a piece of wood and a nail. And as the tip of the nail wears down, it chips away at the head and comes out to the desired depth. Some people want it to be one depth and others want it to be another. But whenever you use this tool, what you have to do is always touch the top and bottom so that everything is clean, especially the part where the tiles are, because that way it stays clean and looks better, and when you wipe it, it stays clean. It is very important that you do this, because it is completely clean and that the case and the part that is melted, that you can see the color of the ceramic. I don't know if it looks dirty. It is easy to do as you can see, but you have to do it with care and also make sure that there are no vertical joints to remelt. This way, with the hand that I have on top, it is to hold on because when you apply pressure with the tool, you find that it does not come off, This tool is very practical and cheap. Notice that when you wipe it, it is completely clean. Okay, now I am going to make the returns. I already have the pieces ready, which are the returns of the first step. So, as you can see, I've taken a small tool because it's more complicated to apply the paste, and with a spatula it's better distributed there. The paste has to be evenly distributed. I'm trying to make sure the piece sits well. There's no guide here, but it's a matter of maintaining the thickness of the joint, for which I've taken some plastic spacers. I'm checking them to keep the joint 1 centimeter. This is the one I mentioned before, a spacer. And I check the joint, and it's always better to start from the corners and halfway adjust the corresponding piece. When you put the pieces together, you have to try not to move them for an hour or so. It's better if you have to move them immediately, because if they move with the paste and it started to set, then they'll come completely off the piece. There, looking at the alignment, even if it's the bottom part, you always have to try to do it well. Now I wanted to wet it a little. Sometimes it is not given importance, but the pieces that are not properly soaked, once they have to be removed, come out whole and clean, but it is because the mortar has not adhered well. The first thing I did was make the pieces so that I could present them. Now in the next image you can see the position of the iron bars that I have cut to do what is the assembly of all this work. They are with 10mm rods. There are the shapes that I had to give them to be able to fit well to the shape of the step. Here they are presented, but they are presented later and here with what is already the step, that is, what is the crossbar made. Now we need to tie them a little. There I made some joints in what is the slab of the staircase. I made some grooves. You can see them well there. And now we will have to wet it well before filling it with cement, that is, wet the grooves. And at the bottom, in the center of the slab, what I've done is drill holes, and there are other rods that come out that you can see in some images. Now it shows that this staircase is held up thanks to the slab of the terrace. Well, it helps a little so that not all the overload or all the weight on top of the superimposed earth. Superimposed, and there are at least 2 or 3 meters of earth. There you can see the back parts that come out of the slab. Well, now I'm going to make the concrete. I already have the grout ready, which will be 1 of cement, 2 of sand, and 3 of chickpea gravel. First, it's good to put at least 1 basket of chickpea gravel in the machine, because that way if I were to put it in the cement first, it would stick. Well, now the sand and then the cement. Now I'm going to put the cement on it. I stopped because sometimes it leaks or it's hard to put it on, but I'm careful not to let it touch the walls of the mixer. And that's because when you take care with the dust, I mean, the cement, is right there. practical it's been for me because I can throw it directly into the place where it has to be spread and distributed there, right? Without having the vibrator, and even if I had one, I wouldn't do it either, because it could move the counter, so there, chipping it with the wood, a thin piece of wood, making sure that all the iron is covered and the corners are all well filled. And you can tell when it's enough, but always, the tighter you press the better, also trying, above all, that the irons are well covered. As you've seen, it's also good to move the irons, giving them a few hits so that the cement or the crumb that surrounds it spreads. Now I'm doing the first step and I've already put one that's almost invisible, but that's what it will do. It makes a counter thread, second, the damage. And that's what I fill it all together. But first I fill it, where you can clearly see what the wood is. First I fill the bottom part, of course, and then, well, I'll do it with a flange or a bucket. I'll throw the paste that's there, the space between the plank that I have put in the part. Now I'm going to make another batch, that is, another concrete mixer. There you can see the part that is the last damage and the plank acts as a counter thread and will maintain the unit. In the next videos you'll also see how I do what is the counter thread of another damage. Now what I do is to make the old concrete adhere well to the new one. I spread cement mixed with water. And this welds it. And now when you put the paste on top, what you have to do is make sure that the iron is well mixed, that is, well surrounded by concrete. There I have to throw it out either with the drawer or with a small bucket, with whatever I have at hand and on top of the iron, which is the terrace slab. Mix it well so that, as I said before, it is well surrounded and well beaten. Now to do it all in one piece. This concrete that I have made already touches the one that has to be made first below, and it is all one piece. The wood is already thin, and this way it fits well in all corners. And mainly with the iron. Now it is bad for me because it is too cold to throw it away, and when it is less left I will throw it directly. There you can see how with the edge of the shovel I am crushing it so that it goes in. Now you can also also see the iron that needs to be made that comes out at 45 grams to distribute the joint well so that it does not remain completely on the side. Okay, now we've seen how to do it. It's always important to press it down well and also make sure that the paste isn't too clear, that is, that it's not too liquid, because concrete always works better, that it's a little harder, even if you have to crush it. Yes, press it down well. And by making this little tremor, it filters through the joints better. I had to put some pieces of wood on the sides and press it down with the trowel, but it puts pressure on it. There, well matched, well leveled. It's now ready to put the recyclable hoppers or hoppers. In other words, the hoppers that go on top are reused pieces. There you can see the entire piece done. Okay, now I'm telling you how it's ready to put the hoppers. End of the second part.